Albright. Let's get proceedings underway as we throw it into the ring, and Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to you, and indeed we welcome you to the Scope Arena here in the beautiful city of Norfolk, Virginia, as we have a big night of action coming your way. It's unfinished business, and it's all brought to you by Hall of Fame boxing promoter Bob Arum's Toprank Incorporated. Our opening attraction features super featherweights in the ring. Our judges scoring from ringside. We have Mark Datilio, Joyce Stamey, and Paul Wallace. Our third man in the ring, the referee in charge of the action, introducing Brian Hiles. All right, fans, here we go. Super featherweights in the ring. We are scheduled for 6 rounds of boxing. Introducing to you first on my right. He is fighting out of the blue corner, entering the ring wearing black trunks with silver and red trim. Fighting out of Atlanta by way of St. Louis, Missouri, he weighed in at 131.2 pounds. With a record of 7 wins, 4 losses, he has 2 wins coming by way of knockout. Please welcome the Southpaw super featherweight slugger, introducing Eric Hitman Howard. His opponent across the ring on my left, he is fighting out of the red corner, solid black trunks with multicolored trim from Tacoma, Washington. He weighed in at a ready 129.8 pounds. A highly decorated amateur, he is undefeated in his campaign in the professional ranks with a record of 6 wins, no losses, 3 wins coming by way of knockout. Please welcome the fast-rising Southpaw super featherweight known as Young Hitter. Here is Dedrick Crocklem. Once again, a referee in charge is Brian Hiles, now to give instructions, reminding you we are scheduled for 6 rounds of boxing.
Yeah. I'm gonna see my instructions in the back. We're going to fight obey my commands at all times. Protect yourself at all times. Go a little high here. This is good. This is good. Touch him up, chin him up. Go up for each other.
All right, getting set to get our prelims underway. Todd Grisham, Sergio Mora, and Chris Mannix ringside. And we've got Sergio, the young hitter, taking on just the hitter, Eric Howard.
The older hitter at 36 years old. So we got a young hitter here in 6-0. Southpaw versus Southpaw. So that's usually something weird in boxing. We normally don't see left-hander versus left-hander. We'll see how they get along.
Yeah, Dedrick Crocklem, 6-0 with 3 knockouts. A 25-1 favorite in this bout, taking on the young hitter. Or just a hitter. You call him the old hitter. Out of St. Louis, Missouri, fighting out of Tampa, Florida. Coming off a 4th-round KO loss in his last fight to Narek Havanesian back in October. At the Scope Arena here in Norfolk, Virginia. Looking for a very big crowd tonight, as all 3 Davis brothers are on the card. Good counter right from the old hitter.
Yeah, good right hand by Howard. Timing Crocklem. That's what you got to do with these left-handers. And right now, it's Howard coming off the orthodox stance. When I'm studying, he switches. You know, Howard does. So right now, he's fighting him from that orthodox stance and landing their right hand, their right hook.
Crocklem's got good power.
Nice to see the big underdog pushing the young buck back, Sergio, being very aggressive.
That's what you have to do with these young studs in these 4- and 6-round fights that go really fast. You get really aggressive, do volume punching, and you cut that ring off, make it smaller and smaller, and make him get a little bit out of character.
Let's see if Eric Howard can continue this pace as he's pushing Crocklem back against the ropes.
That's a good shot right there. Crocklem is always punching and trying to get angles, which is what you want to do as a southpaw. You don't want to stand in front of a fighter too long. You get your shots off and get on an angle, and that's what he's doing, staying off the ropes.
He's trying to stay off the ropes, but Howard, to his credit, is not letting him get off. And these are the kind of fights where you grow and you learn something very important when you're just 21 years old. Step by step, right, Sergio?
Yep, just like Chris Mannix's favorite song.
And New Kids on the Block?
Yep.
Is my mic hot now? Here we go. Okay, there we go. There we go.
Like
That's not my favorite song. I had some really poignant things to say about a minute and a half ago. I'll save them for the second round.
There you go. Well, how high is Top Rank on Dedrick Crocklem, Chris?
They're very good at identifying prospects from really across the national spectrum. I mean, 4th of July, we're going to head out to Cleveland to see Abdullah Mason, a young man that they identified early, developed into a world champion at 21 years old. Obviously, Crocklem, long way to go, but good power with that straight left hand. I like that little check hook of his as well. A lot to like about Dedrick Crocklem.
And he's feeling himself in this round. This is a much better round than the second round. He's not letting...
Wait, we're still in the first round.
Excuse me, the end of the first round.
Half of the first
round. Half. There you go. I really like the way he's closing out this round.
Round 2 scheduled for 6, super featherweight division. Dedrick Crocklem in the red gloves, Eric Howard in the black gloves. And Chris, this is the debut of Top Rank on DAZN. Glad to have them here. And there's a lot of, look at Crocklem starting to let his hands go, trying to take over this fight. There's a lot of differences between each of the promoters. We obviously have Golden Boy featured here on DAZN, now Top Rank. Queensberry, Matchroom. What is it that makes Top Rank a little bit different than the others?
I think their ability to develop prospects stands out. They're probably the best in the business at doing that. Not to say other promoters don't have that strength as well, but young fighters that sign with Top Rank, more often than not, they wind up fighting at the championship level pretty early in their career. Some recent examples I mentioned, Abdullah Mason, Shushu Carrington on that list. Keyshawn Davis has already been a world champion at a young age. So their matchmakers are excellent. Their prospect development is outstanding. They're really good at the maturation process of young fighters.
Yeah, some of the best matchmakers, Hall of Famers. So yeah, it comes down to matchmaking, knowing how to groom a fighter to championship level, and then let them spread their wings and become a star.
They ever match you?
I fought on Top Rank undercards early in my career, absolutely. Here in Vegas, well, in Las Vegas.
Nice left hand there.
Yeah, that left hand's wicked from Crocklem. I mean, he throws it from every which way. He throws a straight uppercut, left hook around the guard. I mean, everything's off that left hook instead of that right hand.
I like how Crocklem settled down in this round. Sort of the second half, as you pointed out, Sergio, of the last round. He's sort of eased his way into it now.
Oh, nice counter.
And Howard was trying to smother him earlier, which I thought was the right strategy, to stay away from the end of that straight left hand, but gets harder and harder when you start eating these shots.
Yeah, pressure is great, but you can only do it for so long, especially when you're 36 years old.
Crocklem punches and dips, and that's what I like to see from young fighters, not just being all offensive. Even when you're in control offensively, you still got to mind what's coming back. So he's punching, dipping, shifting, getting angles, using his southpaw advantages. I love seeing this from the young Crocklem. See, stuff like that, beautiful. Not loading up, getting an angle, shifting your opponent, starting again.
Great combination, and he finished it with an uppercut. You don't see that a lot. And then again slips that uppercut in, and all of a sudden things are going very wrong for Howard.
Howard landed a good overhand right now. I mean, the young Crocklem took it well, but when you start landing so many punches so easily, it gets good to you. So that's when you got to go back to checking that defense. You can see Howard is getting, breathing with his mouth open.
And he's talking trash too. I don't know if that's a good idea.
Keep digging the body if you're Crocklem.
Round 3, the second round, a good one for Dedrick Crocklem, who's from right here in Norfolk, Virginia. Coming off back-to-back decision wins after knocking out 3 of his first 4 opponents. And Sergio, it looks to me like he might be able to get a knockout here if things continue like they did in round 2.
He's going to get it out of precision. You could see that Crocklem's not the heaviest-handed of punchers, but he has precise punches. He turns his punches, and he's using the advantages that he has, which is, quickness, angles, and surprising your opponent. So if he can continue doing that and breaking down someone like Howard little by little, he will get the stoppage.
He's trying to time that rear uppercut too. He sees Howard coming in and trying to smother him. He's trying to sneak that in there each time. It's getting closer and closer to landing in a big way.
There it is again.
Well, I see him finish that left uppercut with a sweeping right hook. Just like that, exactly. And then you could get that angle and then start over again. He's a smart young man. I love the combinations and the punch selection he's doing. I just want him to emphasize on the punch placement a little bit more. That way he can hurt Howard.
Loves that combination, the 2-1 coming in.
Yeah, he's really reliant on that rear uppercut. Maybe he sees something. Were you a big uppercut guy, Sergio?
I love the uppercuts on the inside, but it's dangerous on the outside.
Leaves you so exposed.
Well, it leaves you exposed, but Crocklem gets away with it because he's a southpaw and he steps back nicely.
Oh, he stepped into that left hand. Best punch of the fight for Dedrick Crocklem.
That froze Howard in his tracks right there.
I want to thank those of you over in the UK who are still watching after seeing what Filip Hrgović did. An easy knockout win over Dave Allen in round 3. The corner throwing in the towel.
Come on, Clint Jones.
If you watch that entire card and you stay up and watch this entire card, you're the real deal.
That means you're a boxing fan.
Yeah. Maybe too much of a boxing fan. Might need to get out a little bit more.
Addicted to boxing.
Yeah. Or you just can't sleep. That I understand.
Keep working it. Keep working it.
The one thing I would like to see from Crocklem is that jab right there. If you can find a way to annoy your opponent with the jab, blind him, and make him not see that left hand, then that's going to make things easier for you. So just more educated jabs by Crocklem to hide that left hand and left uppercut. Everything off that jab, popping him, touching him downstairs, and you surprise him with something big over the top. Erect pyramids that aliens built.
Please, I was going to say, please don't spout conspiracy theories when you're in Egypt. I'm begging you not to.
Please don't say the word erect on air again.
That too.
So let's see how aggressive Crocklem decides to be here in round 4. You know he wants the knockout, and he's fighting in front of his hometown fans. And there's Shakur Stevenson in row 1.
Speaking of southpaw snipers, man, I mean that's the epitome of a beautiful southpaw. Shakur Stevenson, that's a man that knows how to utilize the jab, maintain that distance. You know, avoid the inside fighting and give your opponent anything to hit. But right now, Crocklem is so uncontrolled, and the young hitters, he's handling business inside and out, so it's all right.
Well, the hitter, Eric Howard, still marching forward. Give him some credit. He got knocked out in his last fight. Still being aggressive here. He's lost 4 of his last 5.
And this is what I was talking about with the matchmaking of Top Rank. You know, Crocklem is winning every round, but he's being forced to work in every round this fight. Eric Howard is here to give him that type of work, push him possibly to the distance, and make him learn something along the way. It's exactly what you're looking for with a young prospect in a preliminary situation like this.
Crocklem just fought in February, a 6-round unanimous decision win over William Flinnoy. Boy, there's that uppercut, snapped the head back of Howard.
Sergio, you can see Crocklem a couple of times during this fight try to do that little step around, right like there. Try to step around, spin, get a different angle. He's not quite sharp enough yet to do it, but you can see him trying to evolve that part of his game.
Well, I don't mind
nice
him
counter
not
right from
landing
Howard.
something from those hooks. It really takes a lot of experience to do that, to be able to turn your opponent comfortably, not getting too far away to be able to land a counter from there. Not moving away, right there, slipping away, boom, shot like that. Little by little, he's getting the hang of it. Crocklem knows what he's doing. That uppercut's really nice, and it's landing cleanly, only Crocklem's taking it well. You can see how it's busted up his mouth, though.
Crocklem's in the flow right now.
See, like right now, while he's shifting, he should be popping that jab, continue to bust up the face of Howard. That's all he needs right now is just that jab. Utilize that jab, bust that stick, and keep Howard busted up.
Another good round for Dedrick Crocklem. There he is, the founder and CEO of Toprank, 94-year-old Bob Arum.
Yeah, it's great to see Bob back sitting ringside. He's been out of commission after undergoing
The worst guy he ever had to promote?
He did. He didn't like working with Evel Knievel. The guy almost bought the Pelicans, or I guess the Hornets back then. He almost had a team in New Orleans. He's done everything in the sports space.
Is Sergio your Evel Knievel?
He's getting
Didn't Evel Knievel have a cartoon?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember watching that.
Remember the little motorcycle? You'd rip the ripcord and take off and shoot up the ramp, the toy?
Yeah, now I'm remembering. There you go.
Round 5 now. And, you know, Sergio, I think you're right. Crocklem seems to have a lot of tools in his bag. Just power's not one of them.
Yeah, he pushes his punches, you know, so he needs to work on finding that snap at the end. You know, he's doing a good job, you know, but it's still amateurish. If you could see that he's landing the shots, it's cleanly, it's impressive, but he's not doing damage, really. You know, it's kind of he's pushing his punches, like I said.
He was really effective in the amateur ranks. Emilio Garcia, Johnny Mansour, Justin Valoria, Sammy Contreras, those are just among the amateur wins that he had. A pretty impressive resume that dates back many years within USA Boxing.
Yeah, as an amateur, these punches are going to score. As a professional, you're going to need to turn those fists, turn those punches, you know, mind your technique, focus on slowing down your punches to land them better instead of speed and combinations. So it just needs to evolve into a different fighter now that he's professional.
I'm not trying to criticize you here, Sergio, but you kind of had a similar problem. You weren't a power guy, so you had to adapt. You had to win fights the old-fashioned way. What advice would you give him if he's just not going to ever be able to have that kind of power?
Well, focus on combinations, you know, focus on speed, and you could still develop strength. See, that's the thing about a misconception about, you know, power. You could be a strong puncher, but you're not going to be a power puncher. You can still hurt opponents, but you're not going to knock them out.
Sort of like an Nair Albright.
Sort of like a lot of fighters, a lot of boxers. So just learn how to twist your punches better, land them cleanly. You know, focus on 2 good ones instead of 4 medium ones.
I would say, too, I think he's got the potential to be a power puncher as he gets a little bit older and more mature. I think the power's there. That straight left hand, he's landed that pretty clean. And watching some of his previous fights, he's hurt some of these opponents, knocked out some of these opponents with that shot. I think as he physically matures and gets that pro style down, starts sitting down on his punches a little bit more, starts slowing down, stop getting smothered like Howard's trying to do, I think he's going to be pretty effective as a puncher.
And there's still time for him to score a knockout here. Another round to go, plus 30 seconds here in the 5th.
Walk him around, turn him around. Don't accept that. Yeah, there you go.
These guys have been talking to each other since round 1. And Crocklem talking to the corner of Howard.
And getting those rounds in, getting experience in, that's always a good thing for young 21-year-old.
Yeah, he's set to go now the full 6-round distance for the 2nd round against a more experienced guy, pretty durable guy. There's just a lot of lessons a young fighter, I think, learns from a fight like this, not the least of which what to do when a guy is smothering you like this. Like, it's not like Howard's landing a lot of big shots, but he's taking the power off of these Crocklem punches. He's got to find a way to get separation, spin out, create that space needed to land those big shots.
Or find a way to land a good body shot. That would get him off.
Yeah.
How quickly they want to get this guy back in, Chris? You think we'll see him on the July 4th top-ranked card in Cleveland?
Certainly possible. When you have a 6-round fighter that, quite frankly, doesn't make a ton of money, you can get these guys out a little more often. So you want to get young prospects like this out 4 or 5 times a year, start to build them up.
Nice little contingent of fans here for Crocklem, all wearing the matching shirts that say Young Hit on them. Keep in mind, he is only 21 years old.
Let them hands go.
Yeah, I ran into Crocklem's mother in the elevator, and she was telling me, you better say his name right. I said,
she got mad. She got mad at Jimmy Lennon Jr. He said you could hear him during the weigh-ins on Friday. She got a little mad when the name was mispronounced there. Jimmy got it right the 2nd time. He did get it right, but the first time around.
Am I saying it right? She's sitting right over there. I don't know.
Crocklem, you got it. Yes.
Dedrick Crocklem. All right.
Mama's boy.
Didn't the fighter have the nickname the Mama's
Dennis
boy?
Douglas.
Yeah,
Yes.
Dennis Douglas.
Trained by his mother.
Come on, you got
That's right.
Let's stick with young hitter right now because the young hitter's doing all right.
hands up. Leave it on. 1 minute.
Yeah, other than controlling the distance and range with the jab and controlling the fight with the jab, I mean, excellent performance.
Well, do you think, Sergio, maybe he's just going into the trenches a little bit to try and learn how to do more inside fighting?
Yeah, it can be. Getting these rounds in,
Yeah.
he feels comfortable. He's not getting hit with nothing cleanly. He's not getting headbutt, which is something you see with contrasting styles. So he's in charge. He's having fun. So, yeah, I would think he's comfortable and just going to cruise into this victory.
He's still engaging, though, not cruising to a win by any means.
Turn it over. 2 shots. 2 shots to get 1. Set it up. Set it up. Be down low.
You know, on the back of his trunk, it does say Mommy's Boy, doesn't it?
Yes, it is.
I mean,
I just said that.
Turn it over. Right there.
I believe Mommy's misspelled. I thought it was Money's Boy. But it is Mommy's Boy. The young hitter from Norfolk, Virginia, Dedrick Crocklem, about to pick up his 7th win at the age of 21.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 6 rounds of action, the judges are in agreement. All 3 judges scored about the same, 60-54, in favor of the winner by unanimous decision. And still undefeated, young hitter Dedrick Crocklem.
7-0 is Dedrick Crocklem. Be interesting to see how quick they turn him around. We might see him July 4th when we head to Cleveland for Abdullah Mason's title defense against Joe Cordina. So, Sergio, what would you tell him to work on in the gym?
Just control the pace of the fight with a jab and turn your punches. Other than that, keep doing what you're doing.